Hello, dear students, and welcome. So, today we are going to talk about strings in C. So, as we have discussed in the earlier class, a string is simply an array of characters. But one of the most important thing is that it is always terminated by a very special symbol which is called null character. So, this null character it is represented by /0. So this is the null character. So two things about the string. So it is always ended with a null character and it is a array of characters. So these two things you need to remember. Now, when I say that it always ends with a null character, so let's see how. Suppose I have a character name. So this variable, suppose it stores hello. So let's see how it is stored. So this will be stored as h, then e, then l, then l, o. So once all the characters of the strings are finished, so the last one will be a null character. So this null character also determines that this particular strings ends here. So this string is ending here. So it also mark as the endpoint. So please remember that a string, it is a array of characters and always terminated with a null character, that is /o. Now how you can declare a string? So there are two methods. One is the explicit method. So in the explicit method, what you can do is that you can say character name. Suppose there's 6 characters and you can simply store them as HELLO and then /0. So this one is a explicit definition of the strings. So name is my string and it is having these characters terminated with a null character. The second method is very simple that we are going to use is that to use the double quotes. So when we use a double quote, so you can say character name equal to hello. So this is a simpler method. So in this method, the compiler automatically adds the null character. So the compiler is going to add the null character for you. So this is by using the double quotes. So I hope this concept is clear that you can declare a string by two ways. One is this, which is the explicit definition. So you are explicitly defining each of the characters ending with a /0, or you are using a double quotes. Now let us understand how you can print a string. So this is a very simple program to initialize a string and to print it. So here you can see that I am declaring a variable str and I am storing a value welcome. Now if you know the size of this particular string, you can give it here. That is not an issue. Or you can give a bigger size, or you can keep it empty like this. And then printf %s. So this %s is used for string. This /n is for the new line. And then we are printing the str, that is my variable. So let's execute this particular code. So when I execute this code, you can see the output that the welcome is simply printed. So this is a very simple code where I am just declaring a string and I am printing it. Let's see another example. Now in this particular example, I am declaring a variable name with size 20. That means I can take 20 characters and then I'm saying printf enter your name. And with the help of scanf function, I am taking the input from the user. So I'm using here %s and then name. Please remember that I'm not using %, over here. So whenever %s is used, we don't use %. The reason we are going to discuss in some later classes, but for now you need to remember that whenever we are using %s, we don't give a %, over here. We simply write the name of the variable. So it is name. Now the point is that it will stop when it finds a space. So whenever you are providing an input, you cannot give a multi-line input. You can just give a single string. And then I'm saying printf hello. So this will be printed as it is %s. So whatever name you input here, so it is going to be printed here and then return 0. Now this is a program which shows you how to input a string and how you can print it. So let's execute this code. So when I execute, it is asking me for my name. So let's input my name, and as you can see, it is printing hello and then the string that I inputted. So let's see another example. Now in this example, we are going to see different string functions. So there are certain inbuilt string functions which you can directly use. And for using those string functions, you need to include a header file which is string.h. So now you have to include string.h. So I am declaring a string over here, computer, and I'm saying printf length %d and strlen str. So this is the first function, string function, which returns the length of a string. The function name is strlen. And since it is returning the length of a string, therefore I am storing it in an integer. So strlen str. So this str is the variable where I am storing the string. So when I execute this particular code, you can see that it is providing me the length as 8. So that means there are 8 characters. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this strlen functions, it returns the length of a string. Let's move on to another function. Now again, for using the string function, we need to include the library string.h. So here I am taking one variable src and I am storing a string hello, another variable dest, that is the destination or the short dest, and I am declaring its size to 20, and the function that I am using over here is strcpy. So this is used to copy a string from source to destination. So this particular function, string copy, it copies a string from the source to the destination. So source here is this, which is storing hello, and I'm copying this source, that is the string hello, to the variable dest. Then I'm saying printf %s and dest. So whatever value is there in the source, it will copy it to the destination. So let's execute this code. As you can see, the output that in my variable destination, the value of the string hello is copied. So this is done with the help of string copy function. Let us see another function which is called strcat. That is string concatenation, or you can say joining the strings. So here I have declared two strings. One is good and str2 is morning. And I'm saying strcat string 1 comma string 2. So both the string are going to be concatenated and the result will be stored in string 1. So that is why I am taking a bigger size for string 1, because it is going to concatenate. String cat function is going to concatenate, that is join both the strings and going to store it in string 1, and that's why I'm printing %s string 1. So let's execute this code. So as you can see, the output, both the strings good and morning are concatenated or joined together. Okay, now the gap that you are seeing here between good and morning is because I have given a space at this particular position. So if I remove this space and save the code and I execute this code again, now you can see that both are joined together. So if you want to have a space here, just give a space at this particular position, or you can give a space here also. So this is done with the help of string cat function. So remember, it is used for joining the strings together. Another very useful function is string compare. So this string compare function, what it does is that it compares the two strings. That means whatever two strings that you provide, it is going to compare, and it returns 0 if both the strings are equal, less than 0 if the first one is less than the second one, and greater than 0 if the first one is greater than second one. Now how does it get the value? it finds the ASCII value of the characters and compare them. So it is going to find out the ASCII value of A and B and compare. So if I execute this particular code where I am saying if string compare two strings apple and banana is less than 0, then apple comes before banana. So when I execute this code, you can see apple comes before banana. Why? Because the ASCII value of A, okay, is less than that of B. So let's see another example. Now in this particular example, what I'm doing is that I'm taking or declaring two strings str1 and str2, and I'm taking a variable s because this string compare function, it returns either 0, less than 0 or greater than 0 depending upon the ASCII value of the characters. So then I'm saying printf enter the first string. I'm inputting the first string with the help of percentage %s and str1. So please remember that with percentage %s we do not give ampersand. Again printf enter the second string. I am storing that in str2 and I'm saying s equal to string compare string 1 comma string 2. Now if this s is equal to 0, that means both the strings are same. Otherwise it will print that the strings are different. That means if I enter the same string, then the result will be 0. Why? Because all the ASCII characters of string 1 and string 2, when they are subtracted, the result will be 0. So let's execute this code. So it is asking me for the first string. Say I give the first string as good. Second string, again I say good. So it is going to compare the ASCII value of each of the characters and it is going to find the difference of the first different character. Now here, since both are same, the result is going to be 0 and it is going to print that the strings are same. Now let's execute this code once again. Now suppose I give the first string as good and the second string also good but with a capital G. Now both the strings are same, here the first character start with a capital G and we know that the ASCII value of small g and capital G are different. So that is why it is saying that the strings are different. So please remember that this particular function string compare, it is going to compare the two strings depending upon the ASCII value of, if both the strings are same, then s is going to be 0. Otherwise either it will be less than 0 or greater than 0. So the strings are same only if s is equal to 0. So this is the string compare, that is a strcmp function. So I hope the concept of the string and all the string functions are clear, and if you have any doubts you can ask me. Thank you.